Welcome, 7th graders, to another A+ Social Studies production. It's here me, Mr. Allard, with another flip lesson, Early Battles in the American Revolution. Hopefully you've got your blue flip lesson worksheet out in front of you, because we're going to be filling out some notes to begin with. Here we go. Battle of Bunker Hill should really be called the Battle of Breed's Hill. I don't know why it changed, but it just did. In June 1775, the victor here was Great Britain. As the name suggests, the British were at the bottom of a hill. The American soldiers had dug in at the top of the hill. After three British charges, the Americans finally gave up because basically they ran out of supplies. This battle was pretty important, though. It showed that the war had begun. This was officially, we are going to battle, troops versus troops. The war was not going to be easy. About 1,000 people lost their lives on each side during this battle. Alright, this was not going to be a simple one side shows up and the other side kind of surrenders. That people are going to fight and people are going to die. The Battle of Fort Ticonderoga, we should have the word battle in air quotes, May 10, 1775. The victor is America, but they didn't really fight anybody. 700 American soldiers show up at Fort Ticonderoga right there, and the 30 to 50 British soldiers surrender instead of being taken away. But this is a big impact. It gave America much needed supplies that they were really lacking in the early beginning of the war, and it's a very strategic location. If we look at this map, you'll see Fort Ticonderoga is kind of the first fort there along Lake George, Lake Champlain, the upper Hudson River. It's really the quickest and easiest way to get to Canada, and Ticonderoga protected that. Speaking of Canada, George Washington had the bright idea to invade Canada in December 1775 with General Montgomery and General Benedict Arnold, but that failed. Great Britain was ultimately the victor in the American invasion of Canada. America did have some success. They won the Battle of St. Ledgers. They took over Montreal, but they were basically soundly defeated at the Battle of Quebec. The impact, this was the first American attack that was stopped. So America kind of focused more on protecting the colonies and not gaining new land after this invasion. And it kind of set up what was going to happen later on. The Battle of Boston, again, this should not be a battle, should be in air quotes, March of 1776. The victor is going to be the Americans. Those cannons from Fort Ticonderoga were brought to Boston. They were placed on Dorchester Heights, aiming right into the city. The Boston soldiers, realizing that they didn't have any hope, decided to leave. The siege caused the British to abandon the city. 10,000 British soldiers and loyalists leave. They get on board ships and go from Boston to Canada, leaving the city of Boston for the Americans, which is an important city to have. But again, there was no real loss of life, supplies, things like that. Battle of New York was a big turning point in the beginning of the war. August 1776, Great Britain gets a huge victory here. The red in the map is Great Britain. The blue is Washington's troops, and Washington was never very organized for this battle, and he was soundly defeated. The Battle of New York really consisted of 3 battles, and each of them America is crushed. Washington has to retreat all the way to Pennsylvania. It is just so evident that in a large-scale battle, America simply can't win. Britain has more supplies, more troops, and they simply are better trained than our American soldiers. So, our SOS summary. First thing you're going to do is there's a statement there. You're going to put that statement in your own words. Second thing you're going to do is you're going to agree or disagree with that statement. Lastly, you're going to support your opinion, and hey, use that statement you put in your own words as your claim. Put it
Created using Powtoon.